Hello Year 2, how are you? And welcome to today's maths lesson. So in today's lesson, we're going to be carrying on the work that we started on Friday on making equal groups by grouping. But before we do that, let's warm up our brains with our flashback. So here you go, here's your flashback for today. And there are 4 questions like normal. In the first question, how many 10s are there in the number 87? So can you remember when we had a similar question to this the other day, how we partitioned the number? Then number 2, there are 5 flowers in each vase. How many flowers altogether? So can you write a multiplication number sentence to find out the total amount of flowers? Then number 3, complete the sequence. We've got 2 and then a gap and then 6 and then 8 and then another gap. Okay, so is it counting forwards or backwards and in steps of what? And then you can fill in the missing numbers. Then number 4, you need to multiply 2 by 7. So what's the total? Okay, so pause the video now and have a go at your flashback. Okay, Year 2, so let's see how you got on. Number 1, how many 10s are there in 87? Well, to partition our number, we are going to use a part whole. And we're going to put our whole at the top, so 87, and then we can partition the number into 80. And so we can see there that 87 has 7 1. Then in the other part, we have 80. Now, how many 10s are there in the number 80? Should we count up in steps of 10 to find out? Okay, you ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Oh, how many steps did we count? Yes, that's right. We counted 8 steps. There are 8 10s in the number 87. And we can show this using our base 10. So I have 8 10s and 7 1s. And we can put those pieces of base 10 together to give us the number 87. Now, number 2, there are 5 flowers in each vase. How many flowers altogether? Well, let's start. How many vases are there? Yes, that's right. There are 4 vases and there are 5 flowers in each vase. So we can write 4 multiplied by 5. Now, let's count up together in steps of 5 4 times. Are you ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. Stop. We've counted 4 steps. And what number did we get to? Yes, we got to 20. There are 20 flowers altogether. Now, number 3 says complete the sequence. So, did you manage to work out if it was counting forwards or backwards? Wow. It starts with the number 2, and then the next number we see is 6, and then the next number is 8. So the number is getting bigger each time, isn't it? So therefore, it's counting forwards. Now, to work out what it is going up in, we need to look at the 2 numbers that are together. Now, what is the difference between 6 and 8? Yes, that's right. It's 2. 6 plus 2 equals 8. So now we know that it's going up in steps of 2. Let's go back to the first number. So our first number is 2. Okay, what's 2 plus 2? Yes, it's 4. And then 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 8 plus, yes, it's 10. That's one of our number bonds to 10. So there you go. We've completed our sequence by counting forwards in steps of 2. Now, number 4. Multiply 2 by 7. So we can write it like this, 2 multiplied by 7. But we don't know the 7 times table, do we? But we do know that multiplication is commutative. So what can we do? We can turn the numbers round. So we've got 7 multiplied by 2. And we do know the 2 times table, don't we? So let's count up together in steps of 2, 7 times. Are you ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Stop, we've counted 7 steps. And what did we get to? Yes, we got to 14. So 2 multiplied by 7 equals 14. Fantastic. Well done if you got those right. Now let's move on to today's learning. So here we go. We've got some bags of pears. And we have 15 pears in total. So in all of those bags together, there are 15 pears. And they've been divided into groups of 5. So in each bag, we have 5 pears. How many bags have we managed to get from dividing 15 pears into groups of 5? Well, yes, we've got 3 groups or 3 bags, haven't we? Now, in these sentences here, we've got 3 numbers. We've got 15, we've got 5, and we've got 3. Now, what do all of these numbers represent? Well, 15 represents how many we have in total. So we have 15 pairs in total before we start grouping them. What does the 5 represent? Well, the 5 represents how many in each group, because can you see in each bag there are 5 pairs. So what does the 3 represent? Yes, so 3 represents how many groups there are. Fantastic. So we can write this as a division number sentence, doing 15 because there are 15 pairs all together before we start dividing them, before we start grouping them, divided by 5 because they're in groups of 5, equals 3 because there are 3 groups all together. When we put the pairs in groups of 5, there are 3 groups. Fantastic. So now we have the number sentence, 10 divided by 5 equals 2. And again, we have 3 numbers. We've got 10, we've got 5, and we've got 2. Now, can you pause the video and try and remember what all of these numbers represent in the division number sentence? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, so let's see if you were right. What did the 10 represent? So the 10 is in the same place as the 15 was in the last division number sentence. Yes, that's right. It's how many there are in total. Okay. Now, what did the 5 represent? 10 divided by 5. Yes, the 5 represented how many in each group. So when we group them, how many need to be in each group that we make? And then the 2, what did the 2 represent? Yes, that's right. It represented how many groups there were once we had grouped them into groups of 5. There are 2 groups. So let's have a look at this with these children. So let's split them into groups of 5 because there are 10 children in total and we need 5 in each group. So 5 children are going to go to the left and 5 children are going to go to the right. And then how many groups have we made? Yes, we've made 2. So these children represent the division number sentence that we have at the top. Brilliant. Well done if you got that right. Now here we go. We've got Whitney here and she has 12 oranges. She wants to put 2 oranges in each basket. Now, do you think she's got enough baskets? No, I don't think she has either, but let's have a go. So she's going to put 2 oranges in her first basket. She's then going to put 2 oranges in her second, 2 in her third. Oh, now she's still got oranges left over to group, hasn't she? So let's add another basket and move those 2 oranges over. Oh, no, she's still got oranges left over. So let's get another basket and put 2 more oranges in. And then, oh, wait, she has got 2 oranges left. So how many more baskets is she going to need? Yes, she needs 1 more basket because remember, she needs 2 oranges in each basket. So there we go. She's got all of her oranges in baskets and each basket has 2 oranges in. So how many baskets are there all together? Well, let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have made 6 baskets, 6 groups of 2 oranges. So we've 12 divided into groups of 2 is 6. And we can also write it as 12 because we started with 12 oranges divided by 2 because we wanted 2 in each group equals 6 because there are 6 groups once we've grouped all of the oranges. Here is another question. So this time, Whitney has her 12 oranges again, and this time she wants 3 in each basket. So I would like you to pause the video and group these 12 oranges into groups of 3 and find out how many groups there will be once all of the oranges are grouped. And can you write a division number sentence to represent these different oranges in the baskets? Okay, pause the video now and have a go. Okay, year 2, so let's see how you got on. Well, let's start by grouping the oranges into groups of 3. And then we're going to get our first basket and put our first 3 oranges into our first basket. Now we're going to need another basket, aren't we? Okay, so we're going to then put our next group of 3 into the next basket, our next group of 3 into the next basket. And how many more baskets are we going to need? Yes, we're only going to need one because we've only got one more group of 3. So there we go. We have grouped our 12 oranges into groups of 3. But how many groups have we ended up with? Yes, that's right. We've ended up with 4 groups of 3 because we have 4 baskets with 3 oranges in each. So we can write 12 divided into groups of 3 is 4 because we have 4 groups. And we can also write 12 because we started with 12 oranges divided by 3 because we put them into groups of 3 equals 4 because we ended up with 4 groups. Fantastic. Well done if you got that right. Now, here is your first task. So I want you to have a go at questions 1 to 3 on the worksheet, which is called Year 2 Maths, 25th of January, Resource 1. Okay, so pause the video now and have a go at those questions. Okay, Year 2, so let's carry on with today's lesson. Here we go, right. We've got some pencils here, okay, and we want to put them in groups of 5. So there we go. We've started with 15 and we've put the first 5 into a group. So can you see on the number line, we've jumped back 5 to 10 because we've got 10 pencils that are left without any groups. So let's carry on grouping them. Let's jump back 5 more because we've grouped 5 more together. And then there are still some pencils that haven't been grouped. So let's group those as well. And oh, we've jumped back another 5 because look, we jumped back 5 from 15 to 10 when we grouped the first group of 5. And then we jumped from 10 back to 5, so minus 5 when we grouped the second lot of 5. And then we jumped back 5 from 5 to 0 when we grouped the last group of 5. And now we're on 0 because there are no pencils that are left that are not in a group. So therefore, we have shown on this number line 15, subtract 5 to get to 10, subtract 5 to get to 5, subtract 5 to get to 0 because we've grouped all of our pencils. So we can also write that as 15 because we had 15 pencils to start with, divided by 5 because we put 5 in each group, equals 3 because after we grouped them all, we ended up with 3 groups. Okay, so we can say 15 divided into groups of 5 is equal to 3. Now this time we have already had the dots grouped, okay? They're grouped into groups of 2, aren't they? So we're going to try and count up the number line this time. So we're going to start with 0 and we're going to add 2, and that's our first dice. That means there are 2 dots. And then we're going to add our second dice, which is another 2. So add another 2 to get to 4. And then we're going to count our third dice. So we're going to add another 2 to get to 6. And then finally, we've got one more dice. We're going to count up another 2 that will get us to 8. So we can say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. Okay. But we can also say 8 divided by 2 equals 4 because we've started with 8 dots, okay? And we've divided them, we've put them into groups of 2. And once we put them into groups of 2, there are 4 groups of 2 dots. There are 4 dice with 2 dots on each. So now we have made 8 is made of 4 equal groups of 2. Okay, so now it's your turn. Here we have got some pencils and I would like you to jump up the number line and then write a division number sentence. Okay, pause the video now and have a go.